All right, we're back. RINO Podcast. Patreon.com/RINOPod, only $1 a month. Thank you for new subscribers. We always appreciate it. I've had a premonition, Caitlin.
What?
Donald Trump will not be the Republican nominee for president. And I'm willing to take bets on it. Now, here's the thing. Bets start because Trumpers are so convinced, especially that sack of garbage Chris Barron, who's absolutely awful. Nobody knows who he is, but don't worry about it. Odds start at 4-1. So I'll bet you $250, but if Trump wins, I pay you $250. Trump doesn't, you pay me $1,000. Now, I'm willing to go down to 3-1 for anybody who places bet, but that's where it is right now. If you're Mr. Polls. But I'll go up to, I'm willing to, go about 1,000 on this total for the bank. The bank is up to 1,000, and I think RDS is going to be the nominee.
He's making some better headway. I think that if we haven't had an episode on this since the debate. That is actually my fault. Sorry, guys. I had an allergic reaction on Saturday, and then we couldn't do anything on Sunday because of that allergic reaction. So anyway, during the debate, he did an excellent job. And it seems like, first of all, I did not like the 3-person setup. Want to throw that out right now. That was very confusing. And it was a very strange 3-person read, popcorn read. And it was weird. Seemed like Dana Perino really had it out for RINO, had it out for Ron DeSantis, and asked him a lot of pointed questions. But what I enjoyed the most is that every single time Ron DeSantis answered a question, he did so pointedly with authority. And very much so at the end, I thought that it was awesome that when Dana asked, let's do survivor mode, who would you vote off the island? Ron DeSantis said, enough of this bullshit. Yeah. And that's everyone correct. And so you just see his authoritative role on the stage, and except for Chris Christie, who obviously would vote off Trump because, and the thing is that I do agree with the point of view that Ron DeSantis needs to start criticizing Trump by name, and he is. So you need to differentiate yourself from him. I don't think Nikki Haley does that enough. And when she does give criticism of Trump, it's mealy mouth bullshit. It's like a cop assault. And so I just think that Ron DeSantis is doing more. He's making waves. He's still bringing in solid fundraising money, which, the Trump people said that he'd be out by October 1st. Clearly not true. And then I see Trump only fundraising off of indictment money and being arrested and all this other stuff. But the problem with Trump's numbers, and this is the point I have made since May, actually, the amount of money he brings in off of this automatically goes to his legal fees. So he does not have a lot of money for campaigning, even if he ends up being the knob. And that is a problem because the Democrats have a war chest. I'm sorry, but Act Blue is a fundraising Goliath platform for them, and they have a war chest.
Yeah, it'd be so easy
to go into 2024. Yeah, and the Republicans kind of saying that they've always had a war chest and we've always won regardless. No. They have a war chest. Donald Trump has a lot of baggage. We see the baggage weighing him down in polling, even though you see pretty much Biden and Trump polling neck and neck. The caveat there is that if Trump gets actually, not, he gets charged. Well, he has been charged.
He gets convicted?
If he gets convicted, he's in trouble. And so why are we even dealing with this? We don't need to be dealing with this.
So all of those are very valid points. And what I want to stress, especially after the debate, which is what Trump people don't get, current Trump people, but I think most people do get it. Ron DeSantis is not going to satisfy your emotional needs. He is not going to entertain you. He is not going to,
but I want this returned.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm tired of the entertainer. It's not funny anymore. Like, I'm tired of losing.
So,
Like,
so what you're seeing, so not that, look, I know certain people watch this show. Okay, certain people that follow the two of us watch this show. And the feedback that we've gotten, or I should say, the feedback that we've given and gotten back that we've seen reflected in the campaign is probably not just solely due to us, but we are a barometer to what the typical GOP voter in the primary would be looking for. So, weeks and months ago when we were telling him to get serious about it, enough with the clowny ads, don't try to be funny, don't try to be cool. Somebody listened to that. Maybe they heard somebody who, either what follows us, watches the show, or somebody who told somebody. And now it's working because this isn't going to be, Trump supporters want the WWE. They want professional wrestling. They want the big highlight that they can go, oh, and be all and be unserious but be entertained. Ron DeSantis right now is doing exactly what he is supposed to do, and it is the only way to win this nomination. Now, that might not work. It might not. The gravity of Trump, he's a former president. Okay, he's still leading in the polls. Most people who don't pay attention still think that the first name that comes to mind is Trump, so they'll answer in the polls Trump, right? Just because they don't know who anybody else is. But what he's doing, grinding it away, is the only option, and it's the right option. It's a serious option. And I want to point out something that Ann Coulter said on the PBD podcast this week, which is that. Well, she reiterates what I just said, and she's on point. Okay, she thinks her gut, and which is why I'm putting bets out there as well. And I've bet a lot on elections before, and I've won a decent amount. Galen, be careful what the timeline says. Because I
don't bet on. I actually rarely gamble.
So I won on a lot on the Ayanna Pressley race. I knew as soon as she announced that she would win that seat.
Of course she would.
I lost
what?
No. I mean the primary.
Oh, okay.
2018, when AOC, Ayanna Pressley, all these people, all these hard leftists started challenging the Democratic incumbents. I just saw that coming out of Trump. I've lost a couple. I thought Trump would win in 2020. I was wrong. I lost money on that.
I did not think that Trump would win.
In 2016?
But I did know that the GOP would take back the House.
Yes.
I actually should have bet money. Or would have gained seats, not take back the House. Gain seats. I did think I was also right on Susan Collins in Maine. And I should have bet money on that.
I bet 2022 and I won. I had scared money in 2016. I bet that Trump would lose because I was like, well, if Hillary Clinton's going to be the president, I might as well get some money out of it. But I was happily wrong. This is my betting strategy. When the Patriots played the Cowboys last Sunday, I knew they were going to get slaughtered. The line was 6.5, so I bet Dallas. I love the Patriots, but I knew they were going to get killed, so I might as well watch them win money if they get killed. But no, RDS, I will bet a significant amount of money for those who want to take it that Trump won't be the nominee. Okay, RDS probably will. Odds start at 4-1. He's doing the right things, and it's not going to be sexy, and you're not going to get your emotional needs met. But we're in a serious moment, and we just did the previous episode on the war on Israel, and Biden is a joke. He's an unserious person. He's weak. Everybody sees that, and people are going to understand that, God willing, they're going to understand that we need a serious person at the top of the ticket. And by the way, I'm not convinced that Biden will be the nominee either. I think his health is rapidly deteriorating, and and Gavin Newsom.
That's the one that I don't want to bet on.
Yeah, I'm not betting on that. I really think that.
I do think that Newsom is putting himself in a position, though.
The odds would be much higher if I were to bet that. I would bet 8-1, like that. Biden, you know what I mean? Because they'll wheel him out on a gurney. he has been making all the right moves and doing what he can do. So I'm hopeful that this happens. And one thing I back to Ann Coulter on the PBD podcast, what was odd to me is like when you're having to deal with folks who are supporting Trump, and they're very clearly supporting Trump over there. And if you don't know that podcast, don't worry about it. I think they just relegated themselves to second tier after talking with Ann, because somebody in Trump world got to them, in my opinion. I feel it. Like they had Kerry Lake on the week before, kid gloves, nothing.
Way, so like,
and she's out of her fucking mind.
Her going up to Ruben Gallego at the airport with a mic on was like literally one of the cringiest Karen moves I've ever seen in my entire life. I hate Ruben. I think that he is an aggressive weirdo. But you made him look sympathetic. Like, what are you doing?
She's a nut.
She now has me blocked on Twitter.
This is the difference.
She has me blocked on X, formerly Twitter.
Yeah, that was a dumb move. Agree with Ann. You have you have Coca-Cola in Twitter. Let's rename it to Fred Cola. What are you doing? Twitter was known worldwide, and Elon, you gotta just let this X thing go. But anyway, the Trump people, and this was emphasis. He called her bitter. You sound bitter. What's the matter? You sound bitter. What's the matter, bro? You do. It's like, shut up. We're done fucking dealing with you. We're done. They want clicks. Like the PBD podcast is. I thought they wanted to be taken seriously. They don't want to be taken seriously. They're sort of straddling this line, and they want to sort of, get the best of both worlds, and you can't. Okay, you can't say Trump, and be taken seriously, because clearly he doesn't deliver on what he needs to do, and Ron DeSantis does. And when Ann brings up cogent arguments against you, and you go, "Well, you sound bitter," it's like, shut the fuck up. You didn't sound bitter. She's making sense, and you don't like the sense that she's making, and and Trump world got to you, and you need to defend Trump, but it's not going to happen, man.
I enjoy. Did you that full clip? He goes, "You kind of sound bitter," and she's like, "You kind of sound like a battered wife."
I know, it's beautiful.
So the thing about Ann Coulter, love her or hate her, she will come. She is smart. She is very smart. She is very articulate, and she is very witty. She will come back and say, "Yeah, you sound like a battered wife." How many times does this guy have to lie and beat you around and bullshit you, and you just come around like a battered wife who just keeps on taking it?
It's glorious.
Good for her for saying that.
It was glorious.
She said everything that people are thinking.
Yeah, and look, it's not going to happen. This isn't going to happen overnight. But she flipped some minds with that one. It's just, and a few more people go, yeah, she's right. Yeah, we need a wall. Yeah, we need a wall. Yeah, we need to enforce.
The news week is that so for a few years now that Biden has been president, they have been waiving a law, because apparently you can waive laws in the executive branch. To not build parts of the southern border wall the money was appropriated by Congress, FYI.
They waived all the environmental regulations. You got to love that to get that wall going.
Well, they came out and they said, yeah, we're going to continue building it. And then Mayorkas came out and was like, no, we're building a barrier.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'm sorry. I guess this portion of the wall that the Democrats are building has peace, love, unicorns, and bullshit all over it. But it's the Dem part of the wall. Okay. Yeah. Got it. By the way, FYI, Jeff and I are kind of old. Well, I mean, you're older than me, but I remember in 2006, the Democrats and the Republicans in the Senate came up with the Secure Fence Act of 2006. This is the same thing as a border wall. And we had bipartisan agreement on this because, back then, at least Democrats, while they were screaming that Bush did 9/11 and saying that he still votes in Ohio in 2004, they at least agreed on immigration issues for the most part and didn't have these crazy ideas about them. So I just want to say that Dems have been playing Calvin ball on this for a long time. All of their rhetoric on the wall before was bullshit. And you see their cynicism in basically the continuation of this wall being rebuilt. It's just kind of frustrating. So going forward,
well, this is amazing. I'll tell you what's amazing.
What?
After 2012, when Romney lost, do you remember? Now you might have been a youngster, but I remember because it was after I ran for office.
When 2012 happened, I had just moved to Boston. I was at Romney's election.
I'm just busting your balls. Relax. No, but after 20, but do you remember after 2012, the 2012 autopsy? Right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And all the big brains in DC came up with this position paper that said, well, we got to basically, grant amnesty,
move left
on immigration. Now, Trump comes in, Ann Coulter calls it, and she was right early on because she was saying what most Americans get, not just what most Republicans get. It's like you need a secure border, right? So Trump talks about the wall. Mexico pays for it. Yada yada yada. He lies. He bullshitted. He got there. He was always a Democrat. This is what I was always afraid of. Well,
he was always we have to when we say that he's always a Democrat. He is always an old school Roy Cohn reform Democrat. Okay, there is a difference between the type of psycho lunatic in New York City right now, DSA socialist Democrat that votes Democrat.
But
that is currently saying that Hamas is okay, and maybe Mike.
Have you ever registered? Have you ever registered as a D?
Never in my life.
Same here. So that's got to tell you something, right?
Say that I was born in the Republican Party.
So look, Trump's a lib.
My mom has been a hardcore Republican in Louisiana. So this is. My mom has been she was a registered Democrat for 3 months. Roe v. Wade happened. My mom has been devoutly Catholic. And then she registered as a Republican 3 months later when she was 18.
Point back to it, Trump has shown himself what basically kind of what my suspicion was way back is that he's a lib. He's soft on the conservative issues. Which, it's America, you're entitled to be. But when you go back on your word, you say you're going to build a wall, you don't build a wall. People will come back at you. And so to that point, the Overton window has moved dramatically to the right from 2012. Look, we're 10 years later, and the Democrats are now building a wall. So that's like success, right? Moving it to the right. That's good.
So we've talked about this before, right? We've talked about this concept over time. You remember, I want to say it was maybe a year ago where you and I talked. We were like, we're finally winning the conversation.
Yeah, we are, but we're not winning enough elections. You're right, but we're not winning enough elections.
We're not winning elections because of the Trump people really shitting on us and putting forward candidates who are kind of lunatics. We could talk about the Norwood election in New Hampshire, the local state house election, and we could talk about maybe let's not put up a hardcore Trumper that believes that Donald Trump won the 2020 election in a Trump +4 district. That's probably not a win for us. But conservatives are winning the conversation if Democrats are starting to agree with us, right? Yeah. So what Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis have done over time, and in the beginning, it was so horrifying that they were taking buses full of migrants and sending them up to Chicago, to New York, to Martha's Vineyard, to Boston, to
it was one of the
they didn't take it to LA, right? They took them further up in California.
No, that was one of the most brilliant political moves in recent decades by both Abbott and DeSantis, and because it's okay, you live by your policy, and now you're seeing it, and it's a major problem. Maura Healey, who we've tagged in the episode because we do want to get to her and her awful stuff. She was like, "Well, welcome. I'm gonna. Oh, my policy has created a state of emergency, and we're gonna figure out how to get there." And now, this past week for the Army-Navy game, let me show this on the screen. So Jessica Vaughn, fans planning to attend the Army-Navy football game at Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts are learning that Mass Governor Healey has given their hotel rooms to Biden's illegal aliens. So that was in the Herald on October 4th, 4 days ago. DeSantis smartly tweets on top of it, our Veterans and Service Academy graduates cannot find anywhere to stay for the Army-Navy game because hotels are housing illegal aliens on the taxpayers' dime. By the way, $1 billion for New York City and probably hundreds of millions of dollars for the citizens of Massachusetts. This is Healey's policy. This is what they want.
If you are a Republican hotel owner in Bristol County, where Plymouth is, you should be hosting all of these veterans and servicemen so they can come see this football game.
Yeah.
That is the county in Massachusetts that has the most registered Republicans. You should be opening your doors to house these servicemen because they are getting booted from their hotel rooms because Maura Healey decided to push them out in order to house migrant work, like these migrants that are coming.
And here's the thing: I want to get back to her statement because this is what pisses me off even more. Okay, and let me say this to my friends at the Mass GOP: time to get off your ass, guys. This stuff is happening, and I don't know what I know. Look, you got to deal with the lawsuits and the morons from the hardcore Trumpers who are causing problems and want to just create chaos. But we got to do two things at once here and start going after Healey and the Dems because this is the statement. On Wednesday, Healey told reporters that she was troubled by the situation affecting veterans and their families coming to town for the game, and her office would quote reach out to anyone affected. Quote, I am very distressed to learn that any veteran has been moved from a hotel who had booked the hotel from the game, Healey said. As I understand it, those are decisions made by area hotels. I do understand that those hotels are working with people with bookings to find other accommodations. She's she would reach out.
Why she put them in Foxborough.
Yeah.
So I used to go down to Rentham outlets all the time. That's a side note because there's a Ferragamo outlet there that, okay, by the way, anyway. So, and there's a Theory outlet and they used to have this really good Barney's outlet. I don't know if it's still there. Anyway, I used to go to run down to Rentham all the time. Why are you putting them in Foxborough? Like, I just don't understand why you're putting them in Foxborough.
But hold on. No, Caitlin, they're here. They're all over the state. They're in Woburn.
I know
they're in Canton. They're all over the state. Like this is there's not a thing of like they're picking on a city. But listen to her response. She's not like utterly either clueless or trying to avoid the situation of her disastrous policy. And we need to start hitting her on this. Because she ran the campaign from her basement and beat Jeff Deal, the idiot, by 30 or 35 or whatever it was, which was a smart thing to do if you're her. Like, why mess with it? But this is all of her progressive ideas, and she wants to talk about how they just did tax relief. Like, okay, but that's not going to matter too much. You know, you keep this up for another 2 or 3 years.
She wants to placate me with tax relief. Like,
well, I'll take my money back. Sure. I mean, that's great.
Exactly. Like, thank you for releasing my own money back to me, Maura. Really, you pulled me a solid for sure. But like, it's just like, no. I expect you to be the governor of Massachusetts, and maybe not kick out the servicemen out of their hotel rooms. Like, on a political optical side, like, you're making a huge mistake here. People are actually angry over this.
They do not.
Like, I am hearing from basic normie conservatives that maybe are not registered R in the state of Massachusetts because they were tired of the Mass GOP being too Trumpy. I am hearing them being angry on this issue. Okay, so if I'm hearing about it, then she must be hearing about it. And she's holding this like weirdo, strange line. And yeah, you deserve to be hammered on it because you decided to take the controversial point of view and do this stupid liberal shit.
Yeah. And look, you're paying the price and you're going to pay the price. This is why Hochul in New York, Adams in New York City, soon to be Healey, like, this is a problem of your own making. You supported driver's licenses for illegal aliens. Bad policy. Okay? And this is that's a magnet. You say we're a sanctuary state. That's a magnet. Mayor Wu, sanctuary city. That's a magnet. They're coming here. So when Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott say, "Okay, you want them, okay, we're dealing. Let's share the burden, folks." Well, now now Biden's building a wall,
and you all don't get this, okay? Like you do not get this. You are now kind of getting this because you hear from Mayor Eric Adams in New York City. Money costs something. Resources cost something, okay? The state of Texas, Florida, Arizona, New Mexico, California, they have to take a portion of their state budget. So if you pay state taxes in these states or some type of like, in Florida, they don't have income tax. It's like probably their hotel tax. They have a huge hotel tax there. They have to take a portion of their state income from taxes to pay for these type of things. So it's not all the feds. Okay. So immigration is considered a federal policy, an issue. Okay. But it's not really. Okay. So Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis sending these migrants up to New York City. Yeah. You all decided to be extremely conceited and smug and made all these states and cities sanctuary states and cities where you didn't really have to deal with this issue. And now you're having to deal with it. And now you're complaining about where our resources are being depleted.
And to bring this full circle, this is
the world's smallest violin being played right now.
So a couple more things. So to bring this full circle, this is why I think Ron DeSantis is going to win the nomination. Trump will lose. Because enough Republicans will realize that he failed on his promises. Ron DeSantis will, I keep saying want to say RDS, but I probably should say Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis will keep him. We're going to have to deport the people who came here. In addition to that, a little side note, this debate next month that he's going to have with Gavin Newsom, that's going to boost his profile even higher. Gavin Newsom just is incapable of telling the truth, and he's going to be well prepared this is actually now.
You should not underestimate Gavin Newsom.
No.
He is a slimy, sick son of a bitch. His teeth legit scare me like he is a Batman villain, but you should not underestimate Gavin Newsom.
He is a
slick
smart.
bastard.
He is a smart, slick
and he actually does have a fire under his ass. I mean, his in-laws did donate to Ron DeSantis' Florida campaign. So, he really does have a grievance there. Yeah. So,
no, this will be that next month with Trump not participating in the debates, having no money, immigration rising, like the stars, like it's all converging. It's going to converge. This is why I'm placing the bets. If it's still, but if you want to take the bet, still at 4-1 odds. This is why it's the Gavin Newsom thing. Taking that debate was a great move. Sending a plane to Martha's Vineyard, great move. DeSantis gets it. Does he make you feel happy when he's on stage? No. And if you're looking for that, look somewhere else. Go support Vivek.
I feel happy when he's on
Vivek
stage.
Will
he
lie
looks
to you.
like he's in charge. Like the thing is like he was an authoritative presence on that stage.
Yeah.
Chris Christie was up there to shit on Trump, and everyone knows that. He was not an authoritative. He was not in an authoritative position in order to be like on policy. This blah 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 blah. No, Chris Christie is there to shit on Trump. He got his moment. Okay, and it was funny. Like the thing is like Donald Trump is not on that debate stage. He is so arrogant to believe that he should just deserve your vote. And this is one of the things I don't think a lot of Trump people really get. No, he doesn't deserve my vote right now.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. Because he is not giving me what I need in order to earn it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do not vote like a Democrat. I do not vote blue no matter who. I need to vote for a Republican candidate that I believe in, that has a good policy, and that stands for my beliefs. And Donald Trump is not working for that vote right now. You can't make this argument. Like it's just not happening. Ron DeSantis, though, when he stood on that debate stage, he was arguing for my vote, and right now he's getting it.
Amen. All right, we'll wrap up. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy was ousted because
Oh God.
Matt Gaetz creeps on young women, and McCarthy wouldn't brush
Allegedly, kind of
allegedly.
satire. We have to say
Allegedly.
allegedly because we don't have.
What? No. I said creeps. What you define? Please define what creeps mean. I didn't say he committed. He
Well,
creeps on
we
them.
have evidence online of this.
Yeah.
So,
No, but what I'm saying is I'm not even saying allegedly. It's clear. There's enough anecdotal and circumstantial evidence to say he creeps on girls who are probably too young. And so this was an ethics complaint. McCarthy wouldn't brush it away. Gates got pissed and wanted this as exacting revenge. Well, congratulations, you putz. There's a war on Israel right now. We need serious people in our government.
Right now we have a speaker pro tempore.
Yeah.
His name is Henry of I forgot what district he's in off the top of my head. North Carolina. I actually really like him. And honestly, if there's an underdog for the speaker race, I would be picking him because he seems like a serious dude. But yeah, right now we have a war in Israel. One of your biggest complaints was us sending funding to Ukraine, and now the House is pretty stalled in what they can do in order to help our ally Israel over this. We want to make sure that the 8 idiots who ousted Speaker McCarthy. By the way, Speaker McCarthy is one of the best fundraisers in GOP politics with the Congressional Leadership Fund, and so. We have the thing is like it was a personal grievance. Matt Gaetz getting up there, standing on the Democratic side, by the way, arguing over the debt. The thing is that we agree on that point of view. The problem is that no one took you seriously because you voted for every single CR under the Trump admin. And by the way, continuing resolutions are like a minor part of the actual budget. It's like 30%. We're not going to make major changes to the budget, to any of these CRs, unless we have an incremental change, because that's going to cause, and by the way, McCarthy secured that. Okay. So we had what was it? Like an 8% cut to this continuing resolution.
8% cut plus I think money for
border security money.
Yep.
And I think it had no Ukraine money in it or something.
Yeah, I think so.
And it would have been negotiated in the Senate. So there would have been a cut to that 30% of the budget, that spending, right? You have to start somewhere. And Matt Gaetz getting up there on the Democratic side and arguing over the debt was just such fucking bullshit. It was just such bullshit because you don't believe what you're saying. No. And no one, we agree with the principle, everyone does, but no one believed you. And that is the problem. The other, you see like Nancy Mace getting up there and being like, oh yeah, the debt and the abortion pill, and McCarthy doesn't keep promises. And then she goes on like Bannon's War Room and goes on all these other things. And it's just like, you people are lunatics. You are lunatics. We just took out a very popular Republican speaker. Like he was popular. Kevin McCarthy was popular.
It wasn't the best thing in the world, but he certainly wasn't.
It was 4% of the conference.
Yeah.
Shitting all over the 96%.
Do you know what you call the 8 Republicans who needed every single Democrat to oust Speaker?
What?
RINO.
Oh God.
Fuck them.
So that was the one thing that was really funny. Yeah, they are RINOs. They are RINOs. We've been called RINOs for the last 4 years. They're actual RINOs. And it's not funny. It's not a joke. They're RINOs.
Yeah. When you need every single Democrat to get done what you want to get done, go fuck yourself. Okay. That's it. It is a cool, crisp fall day in New England. Beautiful out, sun is shining. I'm going to go get some signatures for my state committee race because I'm running against somebody who is supporting Trump for president this time around. So you'll have if you live in Burlington, Billerica, Woburn, Arlington, and half of Lexington, you can vote for me on Super Tuesday. But I'm going to need a few signatures to get on the ballot, so I have time to do that. I'm going to do that right now. Go to patreon.com/rhinopod, only $1 a month. If you're Ann Coulter, please follow me. We'd love to have Ann on sometime. She's been hitting the nail on the head. We'll see if she follows me back. All right. Anything else, Caitlin, before we wrap up? You gonna go?
No,
Is it good boot and vest weather for you?
it is. Boot season has started.
Boot season has started. Caitlin's excited.
I'm excited because I have this like awesome collection of boots. And I am just, excited for cooler temps because I feel like fall clothes and like winter clothes are like better than summer clothes. And I know that I am in a minority thinking that.
No, I'll agree with you on fall clothes.
Fall clothes?
Fall
okay.
clothes, 100%. Because it's like, it's, low 60s. You get to wear some, like, I break out my quarter zips, and I got no problem loving the quarter zip. You throw on some vests, you're in good shape. All right, everybody. Enjoy your week. Have a great week. We will talk to you next time, and be well. Bye-bye.
Bye.